Hey there, Rotoballers. I'm Thunder Dan Palyo, and I'm here to talk about Week 1 NFL DFS plays. What I'm going to do is go by position, give you three of my top targets, and then one of those three that I feel like is a must-play for your NFL DFS lineups. Let's start with the quarterback position, where I'm looking at Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles, Derek Carr from the Las Vegas Raiders, and Jameis Winston from the New Orleans Saints. Now, in cash games, I think you can go down and play Jameis Winston, especially on DraftKings. My overall top play would be Jalen Hurts, as I think he and the Philadelphia Eagles have a big week against the Detroit Lions. We're expecting Hurts to take a step forward this year. He has a lot of weapons at his disposal, especially with the arrival of A.J. Brown. We know Hurts has elite rushing upside. He went for over 50 yards on the ground in the game last season and has the ability to get in the end zone, which even boosts his floor and his ceiling at the same time. I like Derek Carr a lot in that potential shootout, but I'm definitely leaning towards Jalen Hurts as my top quarterback play. Now let's head over to running back, where there are a plethora of plays, especially at the top end of the salary scale. It's going to be tough to make some decisions for cash games, but I think that Joe Mixon is my favorite running back of the bunch. Mixon is facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that he absolutely destroyed last year on the ground. Two big rushing outputs against them, including his second game of the year where he went for over 150 yards rushing and 2 scores. Mixon's going to save you a little bit of cash over those top backs, and I think he's in a great spot here. It's really tough between Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. I think Taylor brings a little more safety, but it also costs a little more money. And I think on DraftKings, I would probably play Christian McCaffrey over both. Yeah, I know Jonathan Taylor's going to come with a lot of ownership. Christian McCaffrey's going to come with a lot of ownership. If you're looking for a pivot for tournaments, it's Derrick Henry, who gets a Giants team at home who've been horrible against the run the last several years. All right, let's head over to wide receiver. My 3 wide receivers I'm going to talk about today are A.J. Brown from the Philadelphia Eagles, Michael Pittman Jr. from the Indianapolis Colts, and Adam Thielen of the Minnesota Vikings. My favorite of the bunch, especially for cash games, is Michael Pittman, especially because I want some exposure to the Indianapolis Colts in my cash games. And if I can't fit Jonathan Taylor in there, I definitely want some exposure to Pittman, who is far too cheap on both sides. A.J. Brown is a great target to match up with Jalen Hurts, especially in tournaments. And Adam Thielen is a guy who I love in tournaments because I feel like he's going to be slept on with everyone gravitating towards Justin Jefferson. But Jair Alexander could end up guarding Justin Jefferson in this game and opening up opportunities for Thielen to have a big game. All right, we're going to finish things off with tight ends. The tight ends I want to talk about today are Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, and Pat Freiermuth from my Pittsburgh Steelers. Travis Kelce is the obvious play here. If you have the salary cap to play him and fit him in there, he's probably going to get more targets this year with Tyreek Hill out of Kansas City, but he's also expensive, right? And I think we can probably pay down, especially in cash formats. Dallas Goedert is my favorite play, and I mentioned I'm really high on the Eagles this year. I'm really high on Jalen Hurts. I'm also high on Goedert, who, as a big-bodied target, is someone who's definitely going to find his way and get involved in this passing game. He was used down the field a lot in the passing game last year. He only had 4 touchdowns, but he had one of the longest average yards per target, as he was used a lot in the vertical passing game. If you really need to save some more money, Pat Freiermuth's the guy who did find the end zone 7 times last year, despite not having a big receiving total, and who has already established a nice little relationship with the new Steelers quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky. So those are my tight ends. Defense, pay down at defense. All right, I have really cheap defenses circled here, whether it's Washington, Pittsburgh, Chicago. Make sure you're paying down defense. Don't pay up unless you want to get really contrarian in tournaments. It's not a good idea to pay up at the defensive slot. All right. Thanks for listening to Rotoballers. Make sure you come back every week. I'm going to have my top plays for you. Make sure you check out Rotoballer for all the best content in the industry, whether it's our season-long content, right? Whether it's our DFS or betting content, Rotoballer has the best content in the business. Thanks, and good luck.